Know this, do not give up on your legal status. Many people fail to respond to RFE or file an application before the deadline. This is why we offer a strategy session for 15 minutes at no cost to you. Not everyone qualifies. First, you need to speak with our cares team. We receive many requests, so we recommend you answer a few questions on our website, greencardguys.com. Our mission is to help people live and work in America legally. Go ahead and subscribe below and follow and share. Talk to you soon. What's happening? How y'all doing? Want to go live tonight? It's 11:30 p.m. and happy to answer any questions, share some crazy stuff going on and really ways that you can avoid immigration problems or maybe even avoiding jail time, okay? Because you want to avoid putting yourself in that situation in the first place. So happy to answer any questions I can related to immigration law, or if you want to be an immigration attorney, happy to share tips any way I can. So I'll be on for at least 10 to 15 minutes, or as soon as my kids wake up, really. How y'all doing tonight? Man, I just got on TikTok earlier and there's a lot of great content people are sharing, a lot of cool things that I didn't know before. I get a lot of things about investing and things like that. Maybe they know I'm not a good investor or something. Um, but what y'all doing? So my name's John Ting. I practice immigration law in the United States. I have a physical office in Houston, Texas, formerly from Dallas area. So I have attorney friends that share office over there as well. But yeah, I want to share what's up in immigration. As you might have seen my title, at least on TikTok, immigration fees are going up. It was announced yesterday afternoon, as far as I know, an afternoon, and it's going to be effective April 1st, 2024. So, look, if you're eligible for something, there's just really no reason to wait. Okay. There's no reason. And if you're a company having considered a person that you're going to sponsor, also no reason to wait because the process for companies tends to be, well, it depends on if you're willing to shell out some more money or not. Premium processing, those fees are also going up. So I want to give you an idea. Got a lot of tips to share. But yeah, just want to share some good news first, if y'all don't mind. I'm happy to answer your questions. The good news before talking about the topic of the day, and you can see in my TikTok background at the very top says marriage fraud. Got some hot tips for y'all. Okay. But got some great news to share. Just received an order of dismissal from a Houston immigration court earlier today. And it's really what I expected 2 weeks ago. What should have happened 2 weeks ago. And of course, because I'm not sharing the client name, I can share a little bit about what happened. It's our duty as the client's attorney for the immigration court to provide the criminal documents. So what I usually do as an advocate in an immigration setting is to typically only provide the disposition, the final order of the criminal case. I try not to provide the police report, the charging document, because it tends to get people confused. Okay, so the least amount of information I provide, um, it sometimes works. But 2 weeks ago, the Department of Homeland Security attorney wanted to see the police report and the complaint or charging document indictment, and I was like, okay, fine, all right. Well, turns out we called the police department every day. It's a local small place. They didn't have a police report or arrest report, and it's because it was really a citation, and she got pulled out of the car. Yet on the charging document that I ended up providing to a Homeland Security attorney, it said that. Let me pull it up here. Let's see what it said. It said intentionally refused to give his or her date of birth. Think about that for a second. My client was arrested. She was arrested for failing to give her date of birth. That doesn't sound right, right? So, unfortunately, she didn't have a criminal defense attorney, like private attorney. She didn't have the funds for that, and fortunately, she focused the funds, on the immigration case, and that worked out for her. But the thing is, she should not have been arrested in the first place. So, I mean, of course, if you have the funds, the finances, hire both criminal defense attorney and an immigration attorney, even if you have resident status. Okay. So this is in Texas. Okay. This is in the Houston area. This is not Harris County. It's a small, much smaller town. They didn't even answer the freaking phone, call like 5 days in a row. And again, my client was arrested for not failing to provide his or her date of birth. Bonkers, right? So, of course, in my email to the government attorney, I said she should not have been arrested, as you can see from this charging document. And so that helped. Okay, that absolutely helped um, to get this dismissed because we were supposed to go to a court hearing on Monday, and fortunately, we don't have to go anymore. So, yeah, it's just a bunch of BS. So, if she had a criminal defense attorney, not trying to knock on public defenders, they're just super busy. I get it. But I would have, if I were that criminal defense attorney, I would have asked for the cam, right? The body cam. Who knows? Maybe small town, they don't even have one. But man, that would have been the first thing I would have checked and got that criminal citation. I'm gonna call it criminal, more like a traffic citation dismissed in the first place. So a bunch of bullshit, by the way. So on to helping her get her adjustment of status, aka resident status. Man, I just hate for people being in the wrong place, wrong time, and they didn't do anything wrong. Ridiculous. Just a cop had a no offense to any cops in here. No offense. Y'all do good amount of y'all do good work. But man, that's some of y'all that shoot. If you have questions, welcome drop it in. You don't have to tell me you have a question, just drop it in there in the chat section, and I'll do my best to help you out. Again, my name is John Ting. I practice immigration law in the United States. Um, and helping you solve your immigration problem and maybe prevent that problem from happening in the first place. All right. So, oh, yeah. So, the topic right up here, at least on TikTok. Okay. And the topic on Facebook and YouTube, marriage fraud. Please, for the dear God, please don't put yourself in this situation. Okay. Now, uh, we've had we've had people contact us asking for help initially for criminal defense attorney. We don't handle crimes, okay, to represent. I wish we could. I wish we had the capacity to do that, but we focus on immigration only. And maybe they thought to contact us because it has immigration related charge, and it was a charge for fraud, marriage fraud. So this is what's up. Some people might think, "Oh, no big deal. I heard my friend get through." It's easier than going through a coyote through Mexico. There's some There's some nationalities, ethnicities that some people are more willing to do it than others. I've heard of it. We don't represent those folks, and not trying to obviously not trying to knock on this person because I don't know their situation. But this is a good time for me to mention to share this situation because don't put yourself in a situation. Okay, just don't. It's not worth it because most people, as far as I understand, don't have to go to jail, right? They don't get caught. Some people don't get caught. They do a really good job um, getting through, and it's just not worth it. Okay, you can go up to jail for 5 years. You can be fined up to $250,000. Okay, so for a lot of people, that's not easy to get. So, and then you don't want your. It's at the end of the day, it's kind of like having to pay a coyote back. You're gonna have to have your family help you to pay that fine. It's just not worth it. Take your time. There's plenty of dating apps. Okay. I got some old I got some old friends from, like, middle school, high school, they're on, all these, like, freaking dating apps. I I didn't have to deal with that stuff, so if you use those apps, more power to you, but please do not get yourself in a situation that one of your aunties or uncles, like, say, "Oh, I know someone." Yeah, that's nah, I'm good. Just say, "I'm good. I'll do it the right way." Okay? You just don't wanna deal with that. So anyways, I could go on and on, but let's answer some questions. Alrighty. By the way, get chart if you enjoy the way I share content so far, welcome to give me a follow up here on TikTok or down below on any of the platforms you're watching on. Good evening to you. I'll try to be on for at least 10 minutes. M Low on TikTok ask, do we offer free consultation? Yes, we offer a strategy session for 15 minutes at no cost to you. But you have to qualify. So when you go to our website, greencardguys.com, you answer a few questions. It's going to redirect you to a calendar with our cares team specialist so they can ask you a few questions and make sure we're right fit for you. Okay. Let's see. Someone asked, what did I get in my LSAT? Not as high score as some people might think. So anyone can go to law school. Don't worry. As long as you want to do good things for people, because law school ain't easy. So, well, yeah, it's not easy. So, anyways, what's the wait time for I-130? U.S. citizen SAD? I don't know what that means. U.S. citizen filing for married daughter. Um, it's probably gonna be at least 12 months. Okay. Yeah, because you're filing for a married daughter, so it's not. Um, I believe that is a F3 category. Yeah, so there's no rush because there's a wait time on the visa bulletin. Can you contact the Queen asked? Can you contact the embassy at Dubai if they're taking too long to schedule interviews? Certainly, you can try. Will they reply to you? It's probably going to be automated. Will they actually send you an email after that? Maybe. But typically, you have to be documentarily qualified, which is after you uploaded documents to the CEAC portal, and then. But I would say typically at least 6 months after being documentary qualified. Okay. Hector is taking his citizenship civics test Monday. Kind of nervous. Hey, you got this, brother. So, there's a bunch of YouTube videos where we want to ramp up those kind of videos, but we have a resource. So, hey, Hector, if you haven't taken any tests, we have a quiz for free. So we can add you to our course. No problem if you need that help, but I'm sure you'll be fine. Plus, hey, worst case scenario, hey, this is America. If you fail this time, USCIS will give you a second chance. You get second chances on here. I was just watching someone on TikTok earlier who just got out of prison after about 30 years. Man, it's just I wouldn't I can't imagine myself in prison 30 years and then hop out of prison now on TikTok. It's pretty amazing things. Which by the way, congressional hearing happened earlier today on social media. It's devastating to hear how, people took their lives because of bullying and harassment on social media, but look, if you're a parent, I ain't gonna tell you what to do, except now I am, okay? I've got 2 little kids. If your kids or teenagers are on social media, you have to monitor it. I can't imagine having to deal with that right now, but I know I'm gonna have to deal with that pretty soon. So you have to monitor it. Because I was talking to a friend the other day at dinner, and I think her kid's like 10 years old now, and it was just text message. It was not even social media. It was just a text message, and a friend said, was bullying, and then she ended up saying that on the phone. Talked to the other parent. They figured it out. They talked to each other politely, um, in that sense. To It's like, hey, I don't know if you know what your daughter's sending, but just a heads up. Because yeah, I mean, because look, the both parents on both sides need to know what's going on, because you don't want to be that parent that turned a blind eye and then that parent gets charged with a crime. You just never know. I don't know state crimes on that stuff, but it's just not worth it. Juice, what's your complicated question? Jaden, what's your question? Let's see. Joseph, what if you're on disability and you depend on your parents? Can it be a path to citizenship? No. I'm sorry you're on disability, Joseph, but that alone doesn't mean you have a pathway to citizenship. Do your parents have status? Then it would be through them, possibly. Maribeles, hablo español poquito. ¿Cómo está, Maribeles? Mi equipo habla español. Maribeles, ¿cuál es su problema? Aylin, if Texas leaves, you mean, Aylin, you mean succeed from America? Is that the right word? Succeed? Um, Man, that's been a long time since I learned that. Was it 7th grade? Does this mean DACA will be open again? Unfortunately, no. I mean, it's open only for renewals, but, current recipients or DACA holders, but there was a bunch of other conservative states that joined that lawsuit. I think it was a couple years ago already. Chris, what's up? So, Chris, your case have been at NVC for 2 years, meaning it's already documentary qualified at least? I would hope so. My goodness. Okay, let's chat, Chris, because it should not take 2 years unless you're a family preference case. Then generally generally takes a while. All right, let me hop on to YouTube. Thanks for your comments here, questions. Yoquet, sorry if I mispronounced your name. Got a bunch of documents on computer, cameras everywhere. So, okay, and I can see it. I went 30, 40. Ooh, 45 denied. Sorry to hear that. USCIS said they sent RFE for I-130, but you didn't receive it. So on your app, USCIS said you responded to RFE that was sent. Well, I'm a little confused by that. So you did respond to it or you did not? Because you said USCIS said you responded to the RFE that was sent on October 13th, and USCIS received a response on November 2nd. So what does the status online say? So did you actually send something? Maybe if you did, then maybe what you sent wasn't satisfactory. But let's talk about that, okay? Okay, let's see what you mentioned. But on denial letter, USCIS said you did not respond to RFE. Oh, okay, okay. So ultimately, you did receive the RFE notice, and you did respond. Um, if you actually did respond and you believe the information is sufficient, I mean, this is a situation, pretty good idea to talk to lawyer 101, because we generally don't recommend to file the I-290B, a motion to reconsider or reopen, but this might be one where you might want to do that because, but especially if you believe all the information you did provide RFE was sufficient. And so what we argue is that your evidence that you did provide in general as a whole entirety from start to finish exceeds the preponderance of evidence standard, which is the lowest standard, right? So if this is like uh, criminal law, the criminal law is beyond a reasonable doubt. That is the highest standard. So preponderance of evidence is the lowest barrier in that sense. So happy to take for my team take a look. You can go on here or go to our greencardguys.com and answer a couple questions. Okay, happy to take a look at that. Victor, okay, what's going on, Victor? How long can you apply for a green card after getting married to a U.S. citizen? Is 4 months enough to marry your fiance? Um, there's no like bright line rule in that sense. Um, we've had clients actually get married much sooner. Um, How but then I guess your first question is how long can you apply for green card after getting married? So, it's more about evidence. So, we've had clients apply 2 months, 3 months, 30 days after marriage, but it depends how long you've not so much how long you've known each other, but it certainly helps that you've been dating longer, right? Had this partnership a longer time. That and when I say longer time, I don't mean like 3 years, but it helps to have evidence, right? And evident when I mean evidence, I don't mean like just a marriage certificate because you could just get that. It's pretty easy. In Texas, you pay like $87 or $82, something like that. But there's a whole lot more to it. Okay, the main thing, my recommendation is a joint shared financial accounts, which does not mean all of them. Doesn't have to be all of them. All right, back to TikTok. Okay, what y'all doing? Angela, my website is greencardguys.com. I need to figure something out where I can show it back here, but apparently TikTok doesn't like that. Greencardguys.com. Thanks for asking. Again, if you're just joining for the first time, my name is John Ting. I practice immigration law in the United States with a physical office in Houston, Texas. I mention that a lot because I know people with all this virtual things and social media, there could be some scammers out there. So you just want to make sure and go to my website, verify I'm legit. Okay. I'm a real person. We're not hiding. Is there any way an F1 visa can get a green card? Certainly, a student can get one eventually, but not necessarily as a student. Um, but you want a game plan. You want to strategize for your next steps. Build connections, Sakina. Okay, because if you're new, recent entrant or new to America, most people might not tell you this, but college is, other than education, is an opportunity, many opportunities to network, build your network, because connections, your network is what's going to help you get a job. Okay. That's just how it is in America. And I'm sure in many other places, it's just a lot easier that way. So you don't want to be scrambling for that after you graduate, especially when you need sponsorship. But for example, if anyone's about to graduate this year, or I mean, in May, for example, spring semester, you can still register or have a company, a prospective company, register you for H-1B temporary work visa, which is valid at up to 6 years. That's a whole longer explanation, but even though registration is March 1st, it lasts about 2 to 3 weeks in March. Even though you haven't graduated technically, you can still take advantage of that because yeah, just don't wait until you after you graduate and then you have a full year of OPT and then you do it for the first time. You want to have as many chances as you can because it's a lottery. Even though they call it registration, it's still a lottery. So this is for folks who are have a bachelor's degree. The bachelor's degree can be one that's outside US, or if you have a master's degree, it has to be inside the US. If you in terms of you want to use the exemption, the 20,000 visas for that. But if you got batch in outside America, that's good enough. Let's see here. KB on TikTok asked, "Is there a delay on green card through marriage in Florida?" Unfortunately, there's green card delays in general, not for everyone. Okay, but we have filed for people delay not just abroad, but also in the United States for many things. Either it's an interview or you had the interview already and you file a lawsuit because no decision. It's not one of those things that we're like, okay, it's been 3 months, I'm going to file a lawsuit. No, it has to be what we call unreasonable delay. So we have our own internal chart we discuss with other attorneys in our network to kind of compare. It may depend on the region of the country. I have some relations with some assistant U.S. attorneys, so maybe we can even avoid filing lawsuit. Okay, but you still have to pay, of course. Really, you're paying for connections, like I said about like college, same thing. It's not like we're getting favors, it's just part of the process. Um, let's see here. I'm sorry if I skip y'all on accident. But if I miss your question, please, you're welcome to jump on the live. I usually go live at 12 p.m. every day, unless of course I have a meeting or court. And if I like I missed earlier today, so I'm here tonight. Let's see. Okay, on TikTok, Dorf Manual is one able to apply for VAWA even after you just got divorced? Absolutely, as long as there's information about abuse, and abuse doesn't have to become in the form of physical abuse. It can be emotional, and emotional abuse. It's pretty wide ranging. I mean, we've had clients who have been cheated on. Um, let's see what else. Financial control, where they couldn't even access a bank account or anything like that. It's pretty ridiculous. It's pretty ridiculous what people have to go through. Let's see here. Okay, La Maria P. What are the chances of getting approved after for a marriage-based green card? For reapplying? Well, I have to know why you were denied the first time, or was it just only a rejection? Then that'll give me a better idea how to answer your question. All right, folks, if you're just now joining, just want to share right up here. Um, title of this one is Avoid Marriage Fraud. There we've gotten a couple calls where people say, "Hey, I need a lawyer," and my team had to figure out, well, what kind of like usually we think like immigration lawyer, but yeah, this person needed a criminal defense attorney. So you want to avoid this situation if you're considering to get married to a friend because like, yo, I feel bad for you. You've been here so many years, and then they're like, like 6 months later, like, oh, well, I'm helping out. Can you give me some money? Yeah, it's just not a good look. So just avoid the whole situation, okay? There's plenty of dating apps. Take a look. Not saying you look at a dating app like, "Oh, I want to get married to that person," because I don't think that normally works that way for those kind of dating apps. Um, I don't even know if dating app is the right phrase category. Maybe it's a quickie app. I don't know. Never had to deal with that. Let's see. Okay, KB, your current immigration attorney mentioned he doesn't want to um, mention anything about it or keep inquiring, keep asking. He's afraid to delay it further. Yo, man. So, I mean, I wish you all the best with y'all's attorney, but we get that same kind of response from other people. We actually help other attorneys who their client's been stuck a long time. I think your earlier comment said you've been waiting for 2 years, and I think it's for 485 application. That is not normal. Okay, that is what we call unreasonable delay. So, um, yeah, if yeah, you don't need to submit so many inquiries. Okay, folks, like, and just checking online doesn't mean it's poking the bear like it's a bad thing. I mean, it's just legitimate because the system sucks. So, but 2 years, if someone has not submitted an inquiry, try it. Some people ask, well, hey, is it worth it to contact my congressional office? No, to be honest, it's free. I mean, it's not going to charge you money, but it contact your congressman or congresswoman does not mean it's going to push the case to the next step. Okay, eventually, maybe 1 month later, after they finally get a hold of immigration officer or liaison, they're just going to say, this is what's going on, blah, blah, or there needs to be additional background check. It's just a bunch of bullshit. Okay. So if you want your legal status so you can secure ability to travel, have freedom, at this point, it's been 2 years. You need to file a lawsuit. Okay. And you might wonder, well, why did your immigration attorney say you don't want to? They don't want to poke the bear, basically, because they don't handle mandamus lawsuit, and they don't want to be blamed that something went bad. If your case is denied, it's not because anyone filed a lawsuit. It's because your case facts or evidence do not meet the preponderance of evidence. Okay. All right. So hopefully that helps. But I encourage you to talk with our team to see if there's something you're interested in, or they just at least learn more about it. And I have a couple videos on my TikTok profile or even YouTube. So check that out. Paul asked, do you get a new work permit after adjustment of status is done for work petition? I don't know what you mean by work petition. Um, but once you get residency, adjustment of status is the application, then the resident card, the green card, which is blue now, I believe, then that's all you need. Okay, you don't have to show like HR your work permit anymore. La Maria, let me go back to your other comment. I see you wrote, she told me it was denied, so they plan on reapplying for it. Who's she? Your mom? Or I see you copy and paste that a couple times. She told you, I'm just scrolling back down so I can see your earlier comment. Oh man. Thank you so much for y'all's questions. I really appreciate the trust. Um, I don't see your other question. I mean, I saw your initial question. Maybe it's all the way at the top. By the way, folks, while I'm trying to find this earlier comment, welcome to the show. My name is John Ting. I practice immigration law in the United States, um, trying to help you solve your immigration problem or maybe prevent the problem from happening in the first place, folks. There's a shit ton of problems, unfortunately, and it's just not worth. If there's a way I can help you avoid the problem or get around it, get over it, overcome it, I feel better about myself, and it was worth it staying up 30 minutes to an hour with y'all. So anyway, if you appreciate the way I share content, I say, why do I always say we? I guess I think about my team a lot. But yeah, go ahead, give us a follow up there on TikTok or down below on any platform. We greatly appreciate it. There you go again. Let's see. By the way, folks, we always wonder like why people may not want to hire a lawyer. So if you don't mind sharing your feedback on that, and maybe it's because you haven't met one or talked to one that um, can share the information, the pathway, the red flags, challenges. Um, but we always wonder because on our website we talk about, and also on the live show. I thought my kid woke up. Um, about our benefits, and we have access to attorneys. You can self schedule a meeting using our link. You don't even have to call in to schedule a meeting. You don't have to email the schedule meeting. Um, Very proactive to share updates like timely the day of, and and I know I would think that it's expected, but most law firms don't do that. It's kind of wild, actually. Okay, Ashley, I found your question. Average time for I-130 with pardon needed. You mean with a waiver? So it's done separately in two different steps at least. I-130 has to be approved first. So this is based on marriage to a U.S. citizen, for example. That's about 6 to 12 months. I don't know why, but if it's based on marriage to a resident, it could take longer than 12 months. And then the waiver itself, if you say pardon, I think you're referring to the 601A waiver application. We just had several approved that took about 36 to 39 months, but online it says 43.5. Um, But sometimes whatever shows online doesn't mean it's actually gonna take that long. It could though. Oh, Maria P, your best friend. That's what she told you. Okay, well, have your best friend contact us. Please share a page with her or him, and happy to answer their question. Uh, okay. Apply for B1, B2 for your spouse and kid. Do you need to apply separate DS-160? Yes, because each person technically gets their own visa. Okay. Uh, is that orange? Is the processing time significantly different when you marry a resident? Is it better? Um, it's preferable that your spouse becomes a citizen. You can file a petition first by itself, but it's the petition process is going to take longer. Um, I know sometimes the spouse who's a resident now might not be eligible to become a citizen, but as soon as he or she is eligible, that person needs to apply. Unfortunately, this past year, 2023 at least, when people file, our clients have filed for it, the interview and or the oath ceremony could take 3 to 5 months. So that's not bad because before it was like 12 months. All right, let's see here. How y'all doing tonight? Alrighty. EKIS, how long or more or less after responding to medical RFE do they make decisions on what's next? Curious? Yeah, I'm curious too, buddy. So I don't, I don't know. There's, we've had for our clients, we've been very fortunate that they were approved the next day or like within a week. But like yourself, we receive other similar comments like yours that, for example, like it's been like 3 months, 6 months. I do hope that even for anyone who has event or is in this situation, please come back on live to share with us um, how long it took you because we don't have any data on that, but it'd be great to know. Uh, Thania, you had to leave the country. You have green card. The country being the United States. You have a green card through marriage, but you have an asylum case administrative closure. So it sounds like you actually have the resident card in hand, like it's the case is done. Um, great. Then you need to have an attorney. We can help if you need us, but you need to have an attorney to get that asylum case uh, dismissed. Is that asylum case through court or doesn't sound like it's their court? Maybe it's their USAS. But if it's only through USAS, you can mail in a letter saying you withdraw that asylum application, assuming you have a green card, which is I think what you wrote. Lee Leany Lene Leany. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Applied for a husband I-130 prior to his removal from the United States. Okay, sorry to hear that. Now it's been 3 weeks until I-130 process. I don't know what you mean. Now 3 weeks. Like you just filed it through, or oh, like it's completed. It's approved. So what's next? Okay, so between 2 to 4 weeks, you should receive an email from the National Visa Center. Um, Sometimes we get it at like 2 in the morning. It's weird how it's like automated at that for that time, but whatever. At least it seems automated with a new case number. Okay, so that email, we call it a welcome email. I don't know why. I think because originally when it was on paper, it said welcome notice or something. Uh, that's very important. The new case number with a new invoice number because you're gonna have to pay 2 set of fees for the next step online. Total is $445, okay? I think it's, yeah, total 440. 445? Yeah, something like that. Hey, Rena Dawn, caregiver. I don't have the chart in front of me. It would take too long, unfortunately, and it's a lot of questions involved with that to ask you back and forth. So, but the first thing you can do is Google search. If anyone has a question, Rena Dawn caregiver's question is how much should you make to file for how much you make in earn income for a person if you have a household of four. So just Google search 864p. If you need further assistance after that, please join us live and um, yeah, let me know. Okay, let's see. Okay, Marlies. Okay, all right. So this topic of tonight actually hits your is uh is relevant to you. You say USCIS owes you apologies. You're the U.S. citizen, and you were wrongly accused of marriage fraud twice. Holy smokes! Sorry you went through that. Um, hopefully you didn't get criminally charged or anything. You don't have to share with us, of course. But yeah, USCIS is ridiculous. We've seen some denial notices where it didn't some didn't say marriage fraud, but it did say you entered into it to basically evade immigration law, but still didn't say marriage fraud. So I don't know in your situation what it actually said, but I'm assuming it did say there's a finding of marriage fraud. Uh, Lean or Line 35. Would you then file I-212 waiver for your husband? So yeah, we refer to it waiver just loosely, but the application is I-212 permission to re-enter. Um, and yes, you have to file that if you're trying to if it's within 10 years, right? Um, if for some reason it takes long, like nothing happens for 10 years, then 10 years passed after the removal order, then you don't, and your spouse is outside the US, then you don't have to apply for I-212. Some families actually came to us after it's been 10 years and like, how come what happened here? Like they got denied before. So by the time it came to us, it was like we told them, like, look, you don't actually have to apply for it anymore. It's a lot easier because you waited out those 10 years. All right, let's see here. All right, I'm gonna answer two more questions. Marlies, they said not bona fide. Okay, you're welcome, Lene. Okay, AJ. Okay, okay. What's the procedure of F1 marrying U.S. citizen? So, so actually, I don't know, but it seems like the people who get themselves into a marriage fraud situation seem to be a student or around that kind of age, like 18 years old. Now, of course, states have a minimum age to get married. I was gonna Google search. I usually type fast, but I'm tired right now. So, but yeah, I don't know. If you're gonna get married at a younger age, you really need to build up that evidence. I remember reviewing a case before, and that person did not have like the denial notice said no denial bona fides. She was married to the second husband with a kid, and even though their marriage, a second marriage, was legit, when they got a denial notice for that second marriage, um, it was basically saying you didn't prove that the first marriage was bona fide, that it was legit. And so, yes, even if your second marriage is legit, they're still going to hold on to that first marriage because that person if you applied to, for residency based on a first marriage. So what I'm trying to say in response to your question, AJ, is I hope you find the right person because it's gonna be a long haul. Okay, so someone's let's see. Okay, let's see. FYP says you totally skip yours. It's not on purpose, buddy. Sir, ma'am, it's not on purpose. There's a lot of questions here. I'm just scrolling, and whatever is and easy to respond, I will respond to those. Um, but back to AJ, what's a procedure? There's a process, but it's not a different procedure than someone who was overstayed a visa, for example. That's a too broad of a question, so I could go a lot of different ways with that question. Okay, Chalet's, your I-90 case has been stuck, or it is stuck. You've been waiting for a decision since 2021. Oh my God, you're not the only one. Apparently, there's there's been a lot of people who, but I don't know why waiting, but waiting since 2021. So, man, so that's been what? That's probably been 2 years now, right? It's now February 1st in Central Time. So you might want to consider filing a lawsuit, or maybe you're eligible by now to become a citizen. Because if you're eligible now to become a citizen, maybe use that money to file to become a citizen instead. I'm a different lawyer. Some people could say, hey, just go ahead and do the I-9 or file a lawsuit only on I-90, but some people don't actually want to become a citizen. So fair enough. I've heard that a lot. The Joycer voice. You've been waiting almost a year for family to come to the US using Biden's pro regulation. What do I recommend? I think you're talking about the humanitarian parole. Um, I recommend going through a company, having a company sponsor. If they have a bachelor's degree, even if it's outside the United States, of course, probably, then H-1B registration is coming up very soon. Carlos, what's the cost of the whole process and lawyer fees? We thank you for asking, Carlos. We do offer three service levels. Okay, and our quote shows the different services available. We are transparent. We are very transparent on our quote and our services in general. And fees, we're very transparent about situations, scenarios that there could be additional fees. We have that on a subsequent page. But social media, especially this TT one, does not allow me to share. So contact us and we'll email it to you. AJ says, thanks earlier, and you're continuing your F1 status and you're ready married. Congratulations on that marriage. I know that's not an easy decision. So, yeah, I mean, you don't have to hurry to file, but build up that evidence because, I mean, if you're on F1, you're probably younger than me, and you may not even live together. Maybe you live in a separate place, so you're just probably inherently not going to have as much evidence together than someone who's older and have a bunch of expenses. Board for life. Your I-90 got randomly approved in 4 months. You got your card Saturday. Congrats. Yeah, for some reason, the older cases that were filed longer ago, I mean, they're taking a lot longer time. We just had one approved, I think, yesterday or last 1 or 2 days for adjustment based on marriage, filed in September 2022, approved without an interview. It's great. It's just like, what the hell took so long? And so everyone that filed like December 31st, 2022 and earlier were like, what the hell's up? This is ridiculous. but we were about to suggest to file a lawsuit in 3 more months for that client, but fortunately, they didn't have to do that. Not Uncle Jesse. What happens if you lie about something on K-1 visa application, then immigration finds out about it? Maybe you don't wanna share here what you lied about, but, you most likely have to confess if it's something that could have been, determined the outcome, especially. If you lied, let's put it this way, if you lied or misrepresented or omitted a fact because you wanted immigration benefit, right? Like, if you accidentally wrote your name wrong, like 2 letters or something, then that's not, not they're not doing that because you want immigration benefit. So, but it sounds like you did something more serious. Let's see. One Gaza Nation, what's up? You did, but your biometrics on. You're now in the 150 a day. How can you apply for your work permit? Hmm. I'm assuming, did you apply for asylum? Is that why you're saying 150 days? Sorry, y'all. I'm getting a little tired. Actually, I'm really tired, but I see if Melissa. Okay, so I think Melissa's question is gonna be the last one for tonight because now it's February 1st, 12, they're almost 12:30. Do you need a fraud waiver to file for VAWA? No, you don't need a fraud waiver to file VAWA. VAWA you can file based on self petition I-360, but if you are eligible to file 485, first talk with a lawyer 101 to see if you even need to file a waiver, the 601 application. Okay, to also investigate if you're even eligible for the waiver. Okay. Yodit, Yodit on TikTok. Can someone lie? What'd you say? Oh, your comment went away. Can someone lie saying you're mental for papers? I don't know how saying that is going to help. Let's see. Tigress Lynn, you have a nonprofit. Can you come to US? Um, Possibly. Let's chat more. That takes a whole long discussion. I'm sorry, but it's possible. Oh, sorry to hear that, Melissa. No qualifying relative. Appreciate the roses. Thank you so much. I'm really trying to answer all those questions. Uh, but man, I'm struggling. Usually I go quick during the day at 12 p.m. Central. Okay, David, been approved since 2020. Still waiting for an interview with ICE. What do you mean ICE? What can you do? Why do you say ICE? You mean with USCIS? That's two different agencies. You don't want to get those confused. You typically don't want an appointment with ICE, but I think you mean USAS. That's a long time, David. If this is like marriage case, yeah, that's a long time. You should file a lawsuit. If it's an asylum case, that's also a long time. We file lawsuits when if you've been waiting for an asylum interview and it's been more than 4 years. So would that make 4 years for you? I think so. Seems like it. Diana, 485 denied due to not having your military PIP approved. Oh, yikes. Prior to, man, they were trying to process that so fast for you, but the field, it's so weird. The field office, Yeah, because especially if they're trying to approve it without an interview, your 485 could have been decided on by another field office. So that's why for us, um, our first step is actually to file the military PIP application, the 131, and any evidence first only, and not file anything else until that's approved. Um, for other reasons, not just this one actually, but because really, if PIP is not approved, then don't want anyone to waste their money on the 485 application or the I-130 application. It just doesn't make sense, right? So that's just my thought process. I'm all about trying to save people money if you don't need to spend it. Let's see. Oh, wow. Am I frozen? I did not mean to do that on TikTok. Okay. It looked frozen. Hamna, I don't know if I answered your question, to be honest. I don't remember everyone's name. I just answered questions. I may not have because I don't recognize your name. David, but you can copy and paste. David filed a lawsuit. Yeah, it's called mandamus lawsuit, based on what we call unreasonable delay. Am I frozen on the screen on TikTok? I don't know how to move that around. That is weird. Looks frozen on my screen. Okay. Oh, that's hilarious. Okay, maybe that's time for me to say I got a jet. Um, that's hilarious. Well, I'm still here. What was that one question? Yeah, it is time for me to go to bed for sure. Okay, folks, I'll call it a night. Thanks so much. Y'all have a wonderful day. Again, give us a follow. I'm moving my hand up and down. I appreciate it. Y'all have a good night. Take care. Bye bye.